Hi, I'm Alex Archibald. I've been buying and selling antiques since I was a kid. Over the years, generations of our family have gotten involved in the business, and I'll search just about anywhere I can to find hidden treasures both big and small. I never know what I'll turn up next. It's about exploring new places, seeing new sights, and having fun. And even though sometimes I get over my head, we try and make things a little better along the way. This is Curiosity. Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. You might notice I'm already at home. I just got back from a pick. I was at a house. It was an estate situation. A person had passed away that was in the house. Somebody else bought it and they were clearing all the stuff out of it. Now, I got there kind of midway through. When I pulled up, there was people hauling stuff out of the basement and I was worried that maybe I missed everything and there wouldn't be anything good left. But I'm pretty sure I found a few interesting things. We're gonna dig through some of the boxes that I got from the estate sale today, and we're gonna show you some of the finds. And I was surprised that there were some actual antiques in the mix. So without further ado, let's get rolling. In this first box, well, let's hope that it doesn't give us lemons, but instead we have a beautiful, this is called a binnacle, I believe. It's a ship's compass, and it's visible from this one specific side. This would have been, probably from, it's about 100 years old or so. They still could be used on a yacht or something like that. It's always good idea to have a compass with you. It's got this little attachment point, and you could actually take this whole case and cover off, and really neat nautical piece. Something like that at an antique store, you might see for somewhere in the $600 to $800 range. So that was there on a shelf. In the same vein, you see the part on the inside, which tells you which direction you're going. Well, this is a bigger one. This would have sat likely inside of a wooden box. This is made by a company called Ritchie & Sons, and they're out of Boston. And this is a bigger unit, it's brass. These first dibs, people are asking like $1,000 or so for these, but realistically, they're somewhere in the $500, $600, $700 range. But somebody has done a nice job making this holder for it. That's not a factory for it. That's just sort of a display piece that somebody's made. This would have just sat inside of a wooden box. But I thought it was so darn cool. I had to bring it back with me. And so now we've got that guy with us too. And I thought it was kind of neat because they made the center part of the compass kind of look like the globe. They made it sort of look bumpy, a little bit like the Earth a little bit. Anyway, I thought that was neat. So we've got that. The other thing you might have noticed in this box, and I was there kind of just looking around trying to find stuff that I thought was cool. And there's this French, I'm assuming this is going to be French. It might be English. I don't know. We'll open up the back and have a look. But this beautifully ornate brass mantel clock, and it's got this lovely gilding. It is a key wind, so front key. You open it up like that, and you'd put your key right there. Now, the only way to really tell who the maker of this thing is would be to flip it around and have a look in the back. And there we go. Pendulum, is it attached? Feels like it's attached. I don't see any maker's marks. It looks like it might have been an auction at one time. It's got a number 87, or it's an inventory number, maybe a personal inventory number. But the workings look like they're all there and possibly all okay. If I can find a key that's the right size for this, we can probably get this thing wound up and going. And I'm gonna speculate that this is probably from the mid 1800s, maybe like early to mid 1800s, 1830 to 1850, somewhere around there. Beautiful heavy brass work on the side, gilding on the front of this great enamel dial with the Arabic font. So anytime you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's Arabic print, and in phenomenal condition. So hard to say what a clock like this is worth. If it's in working condition, obviously a fair bit more than if it's not. But I would say that something like this at an antique shop would be at least a few $100s, if not more. If we can trace the provenance back a bit earlier, maybe as much as double that. But definitely didn't want to leave that sitting at an estate sale. It was so cool. And speaking of cool, this little bedside desk or traveling desk has this, this is Victorian era, 1800s. It's all silver. So it's got these silver little boxes, and this would have been for powders and perfumes, sort of everything a lady might need. And you got your little boxes there. Somebody's got little gold earrings in there. Was using it almost like a jewelry box. And the cool thing about this is not just it's got these little compartments. Look, there's another pair of earrings in there. Not just all these little compartments and all these little containers. So you could put your pills, you could put your perfumes. There's a little dabber on there. Your combs and brushes and such. But it has a couple little secrets. One is that comes out and reveals sort of a secret hidden area. You're like, okay, well, that's pretty neat, right? But it's got another secret. And if you notice, you can kind of see it's not so much of a hidden secret, but there's another little drawer. And you might look inside and go, okay, well, we can see the bottom of that. That's got to be the drawer, but that's not the case. When you push this little button in here, it pops the drawer out. And when we take this drawer out, you can see this is where probably the more valuable jewelry might have been, bracelets and rings and so forth. And look, in fact, there's still a gold pin left behind. So your rings could have gone in there. Anyway, a lovely little secret spot. And did anybody put anything on the inside? Sometimes you find little hidden notes in there, but nope, not the case. But the box is beautiful on its own. It's got this lovely sort of abalone shell inlay and lovely detail on that. It's just such a cool piece. Again, another inventory number on that. I'm guessing that's what this was the guy had done a personal inventory of their own antiques. But really nice to see this complete. A lot of times you'll find the box, but you don't find all the little containers that go with it. Just a stunning little item. And it's kind of more curious. It looks like there's a hollow spot underneath that. I wonder if there's even another secret yet. I'll have to do a little investigating and see. Maybe there's more secrets to be had. I can't see anything, but what a beautiful little thing. And again, this is circa 1800s. You see that at a estate sale. You don't want to leave something like that behind. Really, really neat. We get into some of the smaller stuff. And I have this authentic miner's lantern. British, it says. This is from like a coal mine, or you take that and you hang it on the rafters while you're working. And this has definitely been used. Aberdare, Thomas and Williams Limited, approved. So this, probably somebody found this in an abandoned mine and cleaned it up. I say that because it looks like it was sitting around for a while. Not just regular use. That thing was used, abused, and left. But it's complete, even right down to the wick inside. So it's probably still usable, even after all those years. So neat brass piece. This is a World War II era bayonet. Somebody put it looks like the oil is gotten hard that's on it. That would have been an oiled blade. Wood handle. Maybe that came off like an Enfield rifle. But would not want to get poked or stuck with one of those things, I tell you what. These are incredibly sharp. Well, when they were incredibly sharp, you can see all the nicks and marks on the blade there. This one's definitely been through some battling at some point. Not going to clean it and just leave it as it is. But on its own, it's still probably like 100 to 150, something like that. Now, this was a very early book written by African American gentleman. It's called Jogging Along. And his name was Paul Lawrence Dunbar. This was the first Canadian pressing of this book, which dates to 1909. Original pressing came out, I think, around 1893 or so, but this is a first release here in Canada with this paisley sort of cover. Really unusual piece, black Americana. And the interesting about it is that it has all these plates and pictures in here from the late 1800s depicting African-American folks in America of that time. And there's little stories and poems and things that he's put together. And this was compiled, these plantation pictures and stuff were compiled by an African-American gentleman himself. So really early and interesting piece of American history. That would sell for about 350 Canadian dollars. And that one's in really excellent shape. Saw this, couldn't pass it up. It's a lucite Art Deco table lighter, but it's so space age. See, it's blue when you turn it that way. It's got greens and hints of other shades in it, but it is such a cool piece. It is lucite. It's like an Art Deco. It's like art is what it is. It's a lighter, but this transcends just being a lighter. It's a piece of art. It's industrial design, and it's so cool. Something like that, probably only worth like $100 or so, but I couldn't pass it up. It was just such a neat thing. And we've got this, which is a antique table clock. So you can see it's like a little travel clock. It's got a stand so you can set it up on your table like so. It would have an alarm on it as well. But when you open it up, you kind of see something special. And this is probably solid silver, this whole outside here. When you open it up, you'll see it's in fact just a really, really, really big pocket watch. And I guess you could take it out of that and carry that around if you wanted to. And I wound it up earlier and you can see it's ticking away. It still works. Roman numerals. It's probably not a highly jeweled watch, which means it's probably not like a really elaborate or complex mechanism, but it is a reliable one. And it seems to be in phenomenal original condition. And it's got the original holder like so. What a neat piece. Probably worth in this condition, probably around $300 or so. So you can see things are starting to kind of add up. When we get through the rest of this box, there's another table clock, and it's a day dial calendar. So it's got the month, it's got the day of the month, and this is basically like a mechanical calendar, not just a clock. It's not a clock, it's a calendar. And really unusual piece. It has the key on the back there for setting it. And it doesn't have a key for winding it, but I happen to have a whole pile of keys for it. I've not seen one like that. That's like a nice office accessory from the 1920s or so. And really heavy thing. I can't stress to you, it's got some serious weight to it. Really nicely built and put together. Oh yeah. There was something kind of naughty in the box. I'll see if there's even any part of it I can show you. Maybe. Okay. I'll show you just this one panel. This is scrimshaw from the late 1800s, and I can't show you the rest of it because what it is, it's yak bone. It's carved in scrimshaw fashion in Japan, circa late 1800s, early 1900s, and it's the depiction of the Kama Sutra. So both sides of these yak bones, insert joke there, has depictions of all the different sorts of positions that you might find yourself in when you're with your partner. Not safe for TV or young viewers, other than that picture, but an interesting thing, not worth a whole pile, but weird thing to come across. So I picked it up. Speaking of odd things, this is a gentleman's box of accessories and stuff. So let's see what this guy was hanging on to inside of his little bedside box here. Okay, let's see what we got. This little case has an iron cross, which is generally identified with German stuff, and it says rifle on it. So I'm guessing this is an award pin for marksmanship. There's also a proficiency pin from 1931, and it says Harriet A. Disher on it. And it's issued from Burke's. And I noticed that this is actually the Burke's box that it probably came in when it was brand new. So that is in its original package that it's been in since it was brand new in 1931. And it looks like brand new. It's in phenomenal condition. Nice little piece. And then this military rifle pin. So we got a couple little things. This is a bullet lighter. It's a lighter, looks like a bullet. It's a bullet lighter. They're like $40-50 to the right person. We have, what is this? Why did they keep this? Submitted by a friendly editor. Okay, it's a poem they must have liked. Out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud under the bludgeoning of chance. My head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll, I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul. And it's Invictus by William Henley. So somebody thought that was worth taking with them. And I understand this person was a war vet, so that might be something they kept with them during wartime. A little mechanical or leaded pencil. I shouldn't say mechanical. It's not, you actually just turn it and the lead slides out there, but that is a antique pencil and a note. What does the note say? This was in the little green jewel case on Dad's dresser when he died. I gave the case to Edna and brought home this leather box from the store. It also had his own things in it belonging to P.B. Disher, my dad, who died in 1963. Well, that's interesting. And I don't think anybody's really messed around with this probably since the dad passed on. So somebody kept this back. Yep, P.B. Disher, Canadian dog tags. It's an old pocket watch case with no watch in it. Oh, somewhere there's quite a few medals that would go along with that. So this guy kept this after the war. That's more World War I era, that toy soldier. Interesting to see what someone hung on to all those years. Little pocket knives. This is kind of interesting. It's a little skull keychain. Creepy but cool. Really old marble. Kind of looks like a basketball. It's a marble. We've got a key. We've got some sort of, oh, that's again for military. Something 6th Regiment. That's his name, like a little heart locket. A fountain pen. I'm gonna say, I don't know if that's the right cap for it, but there's a fountain pen in there. So all the things that a fellow had by his bedside up until he passed away. So this is what a 1920s guy would have kept. Oh, look, what does his bullet say on the bottom? Oh, he made a stamp out of it with his name. So that's, I guess you get that in wax and make your little stamp, but that's a casing. And there's some cufflinks in here. All the things a fellow might need. Fancier cufflinks. That's kind of an interesting little box. Little bit of history right there. Now, 1963 wasn't all that long ago, but you think the guy that had this was active probably in the teens and 20s and in the Second World War. So, oh, where did that go? Oh, that's a chunk of 10 karat gold. That is. And what does it say on it? Looks like a military crest. But there's a piece of gold in there. Not that you'd scrap something like that because it's a piece of history, but it's pretty cool. Okay, and we had the guy stuff there, and down at this end we had some girl stuff. So this little box of what I assume would make you look like a geisha, because it's got the white powder in there, but it's Asian face powder. That's got to be super old too, 1940s. There are some bands, little coin purse, nothing in it. Some costume jewelry, and maybe some actual gold in there. You always wonder when they put it inside of something like that. There are totem earrings. Oh, it's a nice vintage lighter from Inuvik, Northwest Territories. Somebody must have spent some time up north. And earrings, is that what that is? Or it's a ring. Kind of a funky, springy ring in this enameled little Asian case. And we've got vintage lipstick, like 1940s lipstick. Let's see what shade they were wearing back then. I'm not gonna put it on, but look, that's the pink it was. Kind of like a Barbie sort of pink. There's two in there. Probably hard to find 1940s cosmetics at this point. That one feels like it's more empty. It's neat. Even the lipsticks used to be fancier back in the day. Another one of those enamel cases. I don't think there's anything in this. It feels empty. Let's just get it out. It's stuck. Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, nothing in there. Nicely enameled on the inside though. Beautiful around the outside. So another enamel case. And that one's got the box for it. Is that a lighter or a match? Maybe, oh, hang on, I bet I know what this is. Oh no, I don't know what it is. I thought it was me for matches, but no, it's like a 1980s digital watch, ladies' watch for a purse. We have a pen set, Parker 51. Are they in there? Yep. In fact, there's even an extra one. That's probably the one that came in the case, and there's a couple others in here too. Nothing wrong with fountain pens. Little jade pendant. Mirrors. Let's see. Sterling silver chain. Little Burke's box with a pagoda pendant. That might be real gold. I guess that's not a pagoda. Brooch. Compact, I'm guessing. Yep. No powder in that one, but the mirror is all there. What's the name on it? Made in Canada. And little watch. Now, I know what this is. Do you guys know what this is? Let's see, I'm gonna give you some clues. First clue, in terms of era, is that it has sub-seconds. That means the second hand's down there. It's not a big second hand that goes around. Sub-seconds means it's probably from the early 1950s or before. They kind of stopped doing sub-seconds around that time. The size of this watch is called a boy's size watch, which is the type of watch that was issued during World War II. You get it at the Canex or the military store. This would have been a little bit more expensive though than some of the other watches. This is not a Bulova. There's a few clues to what this watch is, and it's a pretty good find actually. So this watch has a screw down crown. It has a splined back on it. So you need a special tool. And it says Oyster right on it. This is a Rolex. That is a World War II Rolex watch. Now, give it a little bit of a wind. It actually is ticking away there. You can see the sub-seconds are going. I just barely had to move it and it's going. So that movement's probably quite good. This would have been a World War II issued military Rolex. And heck, it's, it's a good watch. So, pretty, what would this thing be worth? World War II Oyster Rolex. Once I put a nice strap on that, maybe you're looking at a couple $1,000s. You take that into consideration with all the other things that we found here. It's a pretty substantial haul from a garage sale, estate sale kind of situation. And I wasn't even the first guy there. Somebody else missed all this. So I guess good for me. The other thing was there were some paintings here, and I got real excited at first because I was really hoping some of these might be real. That's a Grand Maison. If that was a real thing, you're looking at like a $40,000-$50,000 painting. It's print, sadly. Same thing, all of these 1940s and 50s kind of era, if they were real paintings. This one looked like a real watercolor, and I got all excited because it looked real. It is a print, however, and if this was real, you'd be looking at $100,000 plus. So I got a little excited at first thinking, oh my gosh, did I find a real one? That's because it's a CM Russell. That said, it is a vintage CM Russell print of Waiting for a Chinook, or AKA The Last 5,000 it's called. And very famous Western artist. There were a few that were real though. These Haida paintings are real, and they're probably circa 1960s. That one is signed at the bottom, Eagle, body whale, Raymond Wadhams. And that is, this style of art is from the Haida Gwaii people, which is sort of the Salish Haida Gwaii area in Vancouver Island, West Coast Indigenous peoples. And there was two. There was that one, and there was this one, which is a killer whale. And it's by Lauren Rufus. And it's probably the same vintage. It looks like it was framed at the exact same time as the other one. So I'm gonna guess 1960 sort of era. But those are original. Those are not prints. And this is original too. No clue who did this. To me, it kind of looks like Polynesian maybe. There's palm trees in the background. Someone's right. It's a very interesting style. It's kind of dark and moody. And I don't see a signature on it. And I thought, well, it's oil on board. And this type of mason board is probably 1950s era. So I thought, well, this thing has some age to it. Rose. Can't really, I think so that's unrelated to it. But I just thought that was an interesting piece anyway. I don't think it's overly painterly, but some of it is almost like 1950s, kind of that weird dolly-ish kind of, uncanny valley sort of thing with the way they did it. They look so sad. How could you be sad when you're riding on a cow? Unless you were like, I wish I had a horse. The cow keeps stopping. Who knows? Anyway, I thought it was cool. I thought all this stuff was cool, which is why I bought it. And honestly, it's not every day that I find 1800s artifacts, stuff that's been sitting around in a guy's bedstand since 1963, World War II vet. The ship's binnacles and compass, and just so much neat stuff came out of this today. So I don't know, what do you think? What was your favorite item out of today? For me, it's hard to think about what my favorite is, but honestly, the little box is pretty cool. I like the secret trap door on the bottom. All the little containers are there. It's just a really, really neat piece. So that's probably one of my favorites that came out of the collection today. But guys, I hope you liked today's episode. Tune in for more. Subscribe if you haven't done that already. If you are subscribed and you aren't seeing my videos come up, it's probably because you don't have your notifications turned on. So you should make sure you do that. As for me, guys, I'm gonna get this all packed up, ready to go through an auction sale, and we'll cross our fingers and hope that we did well today. Guys, thanks very much for watching. We'll see y'all soon, and as always, bye for now.